around, maybe just helping out a little bit.
Well,
I'll let you tell him that, because he's been setting up the ball absolutely perfectly for Putawan. Even there, where he can't keep it alive, he's very close to doing it. So a true team effort.
The first point that they had won, that was off their own serve, I think, where he had actually saved one of the spikes. It was really low, and Rachan Vipan had really saved it, showing good skill with the foot.
Attempted block by Min Kunt, but it ends up drifting wide. Looks around at the referee afterwards to see where it went, because obviously he was busy in mid-air trying to block the ball.
A question for you, which one is the bigger rivalry, you would say? Was it Thailand versus Vietnam or Thailand versus Myanmar?
Thailand versus Vietnam in the women's, because Vietnam have been a lot better than Malaysia have been for the past 20 years or so. In the men's, it's always has been, always will be Thailand versus Malaysia. And even when Malaysia aren't playing well, then there's still the rivalry there. And then when Malaysia managed to up their level a bit, which they've done over the past 10 years or so, primarily thanks to having their own very, very high profile, very strong league, the STL, the Sepaktakraw league, in all the provinces around Malaysia, and that's played every year, and that has really beefed up the level in Malaysia. They have import players allowed in there as well. Thailand have got a huge club scene as well. That's why they managed to seemingly churn out thousands of players every year, but the real rivalries, Thailand, Malaysia.
Myanmar have presented a challenge for the line. They believe it was in. As the referees deliberate on that, just to build up on what you said, I watched the Thailand-Malaysia semi-final. You were, of course, up in commentary and handling the duties on behalf of me, but I was downstairs. I was watching the game from close quarters, and you could just sense that rivalry that you were talking about. And Malaysia were leading for a large part of the game. You felt they had it, and then it just slipped out, and the disappointment was writ large on their face.
It's seemingly impossible to beat Thailand, and Myanmar have done it once already in this competition, and if they can do it twice, then that really will be a huge achievement. And you almost thought that Malaysia were a little bit too nervous to seize the moment in that third and final set. It got to 12-all. They had a very good challenge to prevent them going 13-11 down, 12-all, and then after that Thailand came straight back out, won a point on their own service, and they have a winning culture. They are used to winning, they expect to win. Success breeds success, and Malaysia have been second best to them for a lot of the time, for many a decade now, and they almost don't expect to win, and that would have really gone a long way to getting the monkey off their back there and getting a victory against Thailand, but it wasn't to be.
Just a reminder for our viewers, while the referees deliberate over a replay, we aren't allowed to show the replay because the referees have to have a look at it. It's only after the decision is made can we show you the replay on broadcast.
The ball was in. Excellent challenge. Here we go. Plum on the line.
As we say across sport, line belongs to the umpire or the referee.
Can Myanmar use this as the spark? No, they can't. They had the opportunity there. You need to pounce. You need to seize the day and seize the moment. You just gained 2 points almost. It was one that was lost. One that had gone to Thailand ended up going to Myanmar, and then you think, well, come on, this is the moment, seize it. And then you need to follow it up, and they couldn't quite do that.
As Thailand race forward in this match, again, as you said, it is sometimes seemingly impossible to beat Thailand. They may drop the odd game in the group stages, but when it comes to the knockouts, they are right up there. And yes, in one of, I think it was the women's squad event where they lost to Vietnam, which was in a sense a disappointment for them that they actually finished with the silver medal. But winning is a habit for Thailand Sepaktakraw when you've dominated the scene for so long.
Good judgment there by Myanmar and by Myo Kiao in particular. The culture of domination isn't quite there for the women. It has been and was for quite some time. Vietnam seemed to be level with them, and it really is toss of a coin as to who wins between those two, particularly in quadrants, 4 aside, where you got Vietnam defeating Thailand in the final at the King's Cup, held every year in Thailand. They won it in 22, 23, 2024 at the World Cup in Kuala Lumpur. It was Thailand who won, again against Vietnam in the final. This time it was Vietnam defeating them just a day ago on day 2 of this 2025 World Cup. Timeout called.
तो दर्शकों, ये फाइनल चल रहा है मेंस डबल्स इवेंट का ISTAF सेपैक्टाक्राव वर्ल्ड कप 2025 में, और म्यांमार और थाईलैंड के बीच है ये मुकाबला। थाईलैंड ने 10-5 की बढ़त ले ली है पहले सेट में, और यहाँ अब म्यांमार सब्स्टिट्यूशन करेंगे।
Shin Wunazao coming on, need to try something. 10-5 down.
The interesting part is that Zomin Kant is out, because Zomin Kant was phenomenal against Thailand in the group game and repeated that form against India in the semi-finals as well.
Wunazao and Min Kant are two similar players. They're the attackers, so you can't really play with 2 attackers. You need 1 attacker and 1 defender, 1 person who can set it up for the spiker at the net.
Just as a question again, so when you're drafting your doubles unit, you've got to put in 3 names. So generally, you would put in 2 attackers and 1 defensive player, and that defensive player is sort of set out there in the middle, isn't it?
That's right, yes. So Rachan Vipan, unless he's injured, he's not coming off. And if there needs to be a substitution, then that man in the background, Tawisak Tongsai, would come on, and it would be for Putawan. At a push, if there is an injury, then they could play with the 2 attackers, and Tawisak, for example, would play more as the setter and feeder. And occasionally you do see that when there are injuries. You see players in unaccustomed duties
12-6.
We saw in the group game between these two that Thavisak had come in place of Putowan, and Thavisak presents an entirely different range, I would say, because he's a left-hander. There's variety. You don't find too many left-handers playing Sepaktakraw, serving with the left foot, even putting in the spikes and the roll spikes with the left foot.
Myanmar gambling on service. You're not expected to win points on service, and when you're 12-7 down, you think, well, any way we can steal a point here, we've got to go for it. But it didn't work. 13-7.
This set may go Thailand's way. It's looking like it's going there, but I've also got to say that just bringing into perspective their group game, Myanmar found themselves in a similar position after the first set, and they just fought back, roared back to life in the next two.
They're going to have to start roaring sooner rather than later. It's Thailand, their lion, that is roaring at the moment. They have 6 set points.
Substitute to Myanmar.
Again, substitution.
Jersey number 3 in. Jersey number 7 out.
Was that a guest appearance?
It was a quick in and out.
Set point 14-8. Point Myanmar.
You're allowed a certain amount of substitutions, and clearly this is to give them the option to go back to their original starting lineup at the start of the second set. Because if you make a substitution in between sets, it counts as being at the start of that set. But we're at the end of the first set.
Thailand have steamed ahead. It's 15-9 at the end of the first set with the men's doubles final at the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025. You turn up for any ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup and you would assume that Thailand are the main contenders. They would get the gold medal in any event. Here in the men's doubles, in the first set, they've taken the lead, of course. But remember, against the same opposition in the group stages, it was a similar scoreline, and then Myanmar roared back. The difference is, of course, the fact what's at stake, a gold medal. Thus, there's more pressure on Myanmar as they begin the second set.
Second set, start now, all.
Just a little bit of added pressure on Myanmar. They've got to serve. So if this is a save set spike, which you would expect it to be when Ratchan and Putawan are there, then that means that right from the off, Myanmar are behind on the scoreboard. They're going to be chasing the game all the way through unless they can make inroads and start scoring points on their own service sooner rather than later. Look at the imposing figure that he strikes at the net. So imposing that he almost put off Ratchan.
One on.
There was a spike earlier in this rally, but it was a little bit deeper inside the court, and Putawan had to cover some distance, and ultimately Myanmar get that point.
It's a point on their own service. It's been like gold dust for them, that has. 2-1. Right, this is huge. They need to pick up this point. They need to save the service, set it, spike it, and get themselves a 2-point cushion. And Thailand just won't let them. Myanmar, I think they fluffed their lines there. That really did not go according to plan. Min Kant trying to cushion the ball, the service as it came over, and then just nodding it back and giving Thailand the initiative. All that hard work, winning a point on a long rally on their own service, and then they just give it up by making a simple mistake.
Out. Point Thailand.
A little bit expressive there, Putawan after that point. Walks up to the net, waves towards the Myanmar side.
3-2. Point Myanmar.
That's ricocheted off Putawan and gone into the referee's desk. Just hit the referee. He says he's fine. But yes, earlier in the day, we tried our hand a little bit with that. I must tell our viewers that the as you think, in fact, it's made of plastic. It can be a little bit hard when it comes at you. Drew, you were mentioning during one of our stints earlier about the shoes. The kind of shoes that they wear, are they specifically made for this? And what are the specifications? They've got to be more flat-footed?
Yeah, they tend to buy them in Thailand. It's the only place that really manufactures them in bulk, and you'll have players around the world in outposts, as we've got here at this World Cup. Brazil, the ones in Europe, down in Australia, and whenever anyone travels to Thailand, even if it's just for a holiday, then they take orders for the rest of the takraw community in their country. What's your size? How many pairs of shoes do you want? They're very flat. They have to be very smooth on top as well. They've got, most of them have laces, some of them don't. Some players prefer to play without laces because you don't want the ball cannoning off at an awkward angle. And you can see very flat because you want a flat sole. You don't want a ridge sole because you're using the sole of your shoe quite often. And I think the Thais there are telling their Myanmar opponents that they've been caught flat-footed. So there has been a little bit of talk back in this match, probably due to the fact that they met in the group stages. And Thailand looking for revenge.
And so far, they seem to be on course to setting things right against Myanmar.
That was nicely done. Very nicely done indeed. A sunback spike by Min Kant, flicking that one right-footed over his right shoulder. Well, they're keeping pace, Myanmar. They had an opportunity to get a 2-point buffer early in the set, but at the very least they're keeping pace here. They'd love a point on their own service, though. Two blocks and a spike, and they've got a point on their own service. They were made to win that point 3 times, but they did. And now they've really got to grasp the nettle.
And what's good is that the crowd has stayed and really enjoying this match, cheering some of the great skills that we are watching.
Thailand, how do you do it every time? You fail to win a point on your opponent's service and then you just go and steal it right back. That was one that would have kissed the line. Putawan made him play at it. Every time they do it, Thailand. The level's really stepping up here. Tape service from Myanmar, from Yo Kiao, and it was saved by Rachan. The levels just come up a notch here midway through the second set.
Just the way he saved that. We've seen that a few times in the first set where he saved some of the spikes as well. Another tape service, this time by Rachan. And Thailand get that point. They move forward, it's a 2-point lead now.
Bit of a flex from Putawan, you can tell he's the youngster. Rachan, it's act like you've been there before. 8-6, so it was 6-5 and then all of a sudden 3 points in a row. Make that
4. And we've also got the other members of the Thai delegation sitting around and cheering for their team. And that really worked, especially when they were playing Malaysia. I could just sense, I was sitting in the stands, whenever they would win a point, Rachan and Putawan would just look at their colleagues up in the stands.
Putawan keeps rolling those roll spikes. Thailand rolling towards gold.
Putawan seems to have come out with a lot of purpose in this game. Remember that they had lost to Myanmar in the group stages, and back then it was Tavisak who had come on, and now there's a timeout by Myanmar.
Second set, just in.
Putawan and Rachan Bipan seem to be on course to taking Thailand towards the gold medal in the men's doubles event at the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025.
Last throw of the dice pretty much for Myanmar. They've taken their time out. They could make a substitution or indeed two. Unlikely that they would do that at this late stage. Be asking a lot of Munazao to come on and try to swing this match in their favour. Myo Kiao, the Myanmar captain, is asking something of the referee.
May just be clarifying about the service. There have been times when the teams have referred the matter to the referees because, as you said, the serves alternate between the two players in the doubles event. So sometimes, if there have been substitutions or changes, there haven't been so many, but it can be a little difficult to keep track of it, right?
Ready? 8, 10.
And Thailand marching forward. It's 11-8. That timeout doesn't seem to have arrested that momentum. For Myanmar, it's getting tougher, of course, but it's also the pressure of the occasion may be creeping a little bit at the back of their mind.
Thailand doing Thailand things. Service in doubles as Kritsanapong watches on, and Subsek. We'll probably see them quadrant a little bit later on. Thailand putting in incredible services, keeping balls alive, stealing the initiative.
That's very well done by Myanmar over there, getting the block in. Min Kant. This is what he did very effectively during the group stage against Thailand. That's the emotion that you'll see from Min Kant. Now Rachan Bipan, the veteran, the captain. When you hit the net sometimes, like you're trying to push it past, just next to your own player. Is that what he tried to do there?
Thailand taking their time out just to give Myanmar something to think about. You never know.
Thailand are a few steps away from taking the gold medal in the men's doubles event here at the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025. We are in Patna, Bihar. This is being played at the Patlipurna Sports Complex. This tournament has seen some great Sepaktakraw action with teams from all over the globe. This tournament has come together thanks to the support of the Bihar government.
Right point, Thailand.
I think both teams were claiming that point, but I'm pretty sure that it landed in that spike.
Only 2 points away from victory
13,
as Futowan gets ready to serve.
Point Myanmar.
Kritsanapong telling everybody who the #1 nation is when it comes to takraw.
11-30.
Well, he already has a gold medal with him in the quadrant event.
Point Thailand.
Championship point for Thailand, and there he is telling everyone
That there's 3 of them.
Game point 14-11. Point Myanmar.
Stay of execution. Big ask now, though. Captain Yo Kiao having to serve to keep his team in the tournament.
Game point 12-14.
And he's done just that.
Point Myanmar.
Comes out with a tape service, and I'm pretty sure Thailand are going to challenge something, because they always do at crucial moments. But there's nothing they could possibly challenge here. That was a brilliant service on the tape. Now, all of a sudden, this gets interesting. It's 13-14. It's still match point. But Myanmar are going to get the opportunity to save set and spike and take it to 14-all. And that's precisely what they do.
Point Myanmar.
brilliant. We are now setting up for a 17-pointer, and suddenly the smile has just gone because he knows that the game is still on, the set is still on.
So the only disadvantage for Myanmar is that they're serving first, and you are expected to concede on service. So they'll serve at 14-all, at 15-all, and at 16-all. And if we get to 16-all, then it's a deciding point. And Thailand are always going to have their noses in front. Once again, it's championship points.
Championship point coming up. They've got to get to 17. But true, they've been in this situation before, right? In the semi-final against Malaysia.
$15-all. Myanmar taking care of business.
Well, are we seeing a repeat of their encounter from the group stages? Because back then, it was Myanmar who fought back, roared back to life in the second set.
15-all.
It's a best of three now. The only problem for Myanmar is that they've got to serve on two of them. What a block. What a block by Min Kant, and all of a sudden it's set point for Myanmar, and they are going to be receiving.
This is incredible. A couple of minutes ago, it was almost as if Thailand had picked up the gold medal out of the tray. But just before they could put it onto their necks, Myanmar have come Wait a second. Thailand have challenged that one. Oh, it's denied because the time is done.
Ready?
Well, that challenge may have been more tactical more than anything.
15,
Would have been, but they needed to do it in good time. So set point. Can they save set spike and take it to a decider?
We are going into the third set in the men's doubles final. Most people would have felt that Thailand had it in the bag when they were up 14-11. But Myanmar, what a comeback once again. It's Thailand 1, Myanmar 1, 15-9, 17-15.
Second set won by Myanmar. Main score 1-0. 2 minutes rest.
There's the set point once again. Incredible turnaround from Myanmar. They were 14-12 down, facing a couple of championship points. I think they were 14-11 down, and then they ended up reeling off 5 points in a row.
Look at those two. The Myanmar doubled in the men's event here at the ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup. Earlier in the group stages, they had done very well against Thailand to beat them. And now they've taken Thailand, the favored team in the final, into another three-setter. Rachan Vipan gets ready, and we're underway.
So talking about the fine margins that you have between these two teams, and between the teams at the top, and the fact that you tend to win points when you're receiving service. Myanmar receiving service first up, and so if they keep winning points on the Thailand service, then they're always going to have their noses in front, and if it gets to 14-all, they will have the advantage of receiving first when it gets to that best of 5.
A question for you would be that, yes, Thailand had 3 match points back in the second set. How difficult is it to psychologically bounce back from that? Because at the back of your mind, you're thinking, we had it in the bag and we just let it slip. And you've still got a job to do now.
Well, they'll have had 2 minutes at the end of that set. And they will have been told in no uncertain terms by coach Supnalawek that they need to put it out of their minds.
Point Thailand.
What has really impressed me about Myanmar is their resilience. And it's not just
2
about
all.
the men, but even the women's team. They've just shown a lot of character in those tough moments, critical
Point
moments.
Myanmar.
They've held their nerve, and as you said, they don't show as much emotion like some of the other teams.
Three, two. Out. Point Thailand.
Service fired long. Worth a gamble. Trying to get one that gets your opponents a little off balance as they try to return it, or maybe one that they leave that ends up clipping the line at the back. Not the best of sets, but Min Kunt made it look so simple. He covered a lot of ground there. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. And then a beautiful sunback spike. Right foot over the right shoulder, past the right shoulder of his opposite number, Putawan.
4-3. Point Thailand.
It's all even Stevens at the moment here in the third set. Both teams eyeing that gold medal. ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025.
4-all.
We are into the finals of the men's doubles. Everything at stake for Myanmar and Thailand.
Point Myanmar.
Also for Thailand, they again had a training semi-final against Malaysia. And here's another match. They've got to play 2 such high-pressure matches on the same day.
5-4.
That's never easy.
Point Thailand.
Short sets and best of 3, so not overly taxing for the players. Both teams, of course, went through the semi-finals earlier in the day.
5-all.
Back in the day, there were times when it was best of 5 and it was first of 21, so that could be very lengthy.
Point Myanmar.
Any reason it was made shorter? The number of points or reducing the number of sets?
It just made for very long matches.
6-5. Point Thailand.
There's not much to choose yet again between these two teams. They're just picking points off each other's serves. And we've got to wait for that moment when one of the teams converts their own service into a point.
Point Myanmar.
Definitely done. Little tap over the top to go back to your point on the changes in formats and 3 sets, 5 sets, and first to 15, first to 21. Also the fact that you've got things now like the quadrants, so 4 aside and then mixed quadrants, doubles brought in for women. The International Sepaktakraw Federation is constantly evolving and constantly trying to work out the best way of playing this sport, because it's played all around Southeast Asia and it's spreading all around the world, and everyone's got different rules. They called it different names, played with different balls 500, 1,000 years ago. So trying to unify that is quite difficult. And so it's a constant evolution to find the ideal way of playing this sport.
Point Myanmar. Let's baseline.
Now we have got to 8 points. Myanmar have got that 8th point, which means they will switch sides. This is what happens in the 3rd set. And just as a reminder for all our viewers, earlier in the day, India and Myanmar played in the finals of the women's doubles event. And on that occasion, Myanmar emerged victorious. They already have got the gold medal in the women's.
Ready?
And eyeing a similar performance here in the men's event as well.
They've stolen a point. Slapped over the net with the sole of the shoe. Enjoying himself out there, Minkant, and as you would expect, the Thai coach, or the Thai manager rather, Supot, is challenging. I was challenging the service, right. Challenging the net is what I thought to begin with, but challenging the service. Interesting call, that one. Not allowed to step over the line when you're serving. This one really is hope rather than expectation. But if Myanmar do have this point confirmed, then all of a sudden they've got the equivalent of a break of service. They've held on their own service.
Just to illustrate on this, they've challenged the service, but how difficult would it be for them to see that it was actually, because it's actually way ahead. Myanmar are serving on the other side of the court. The referee has just approached the Thai bench.
Don't know if he's saying that the video isn't available because he seemed to wave his hands out.
We saw this earlier, I think it was in the 2nd set, when Thailand tried to go for a challenge, but then they were told the time is done.
They're a very challenging team, literally and metaphorically.
That's a good one.
They do like to get those boards in their hands. They're ready to brandish them, particularly towards the end of a set, towards the end of a match, towards the end of a tournament.
And just to tell our viewers, while the referees deliberate, we cannot show the replay on broadcast. It's only after the referees have made a decision can we show you the replay. तो दोस्तों, अब जब तक रेफरीज यहाँ पर अपना निर्णय नहीं देते, तब तक हम आपको रिप्ले नहीं दिखा सकते. तो उनके निर्णय के बाद ही हम आपको रिप्ले दिखा सकते हैं और फिर बता सकते हैं एग्जैक्टली हुआ क्या.
Crucial point, this one. Is it 9-7? Are Myanmar suddenly 6 points away from a gold medal? Is it 8-all and as you were? Coaches and managers brought over.
We've got teams from all over the globe. That's the Iran women's team. Played a match against India yesterday. It was the doubles semi-final.
Wow, is this going to go the way of Thailand? Myanmar coach looking very unhappy about this. No, it looks as if, well, who knows which way is this going to go?
Just the way the coach is gesturing, he was talking about the manner in which the service was delivered. This is almost like another timeout.
It's a timeout that nobody wants to take. Sure, the players want to get on with it. But it's crucial. We are in the second half of the deciding set. We've changed ends. It seems to go one way then the other. You'll see the Myanmar coach Tut Kyang Nue gesticulating at one point, and then you'll see Supnalawek Kim Tong, or rather Supot Tumpracha, the manager, arguing his case. The referees have got to take their time though, because this is such a big point.
Such a big point in the context of the tournament. Because if Myanmar get this point, then they are ahead. And as you said, it's an equivalent of a break of a serve in tennis.
So the challenge was on the service. Team's desperately trying to keep warm. This must be the finest of margins.
This review has taken so much time. Drew and I could have gone downstairs, gotten a cup of coffee each and returned.
You'd have thought that if it's that difficult to choose, then you go with the sort of the soft signal the referee had given. So you go with the original decision. These guys keep looking as if they're celebrating, and but no decision's been made yet. Next point is going to be Thailand serving. So the worst case scenario for Myanmar is it's 8-all. They receive the next point. But how they would love to be receiving the next point too clear. The coaches or the managers are being sent back to their ends, and Myanmar have got the point.
During this delay, we just saw that, there we go, there's confirmation. The Myanmar players continued to keep themselves warm.
So not over means the foot wasn't over when serving. So the non-striking foot wasn't over the baseline. The planted foot, it doesn't have to be planted because you can move around in doubles and quadrant. So the non-striking foot didn't touch the line. 9-7, can they make it 10-7? No, they can't. Thailand come roaring back. Challenge. Challenge at the net from Myanmar. I think the second half of this deciding set is going to be like the last 5 minutes of an NBA basketball match. It's going to be stopping and starting. Everything's going to be challenged left, right and centre. This one will take a lot less time.
Finals are always challenging.
Not ideal for the players. They've played 1 point in the past 5 minutes and they get another break. They'd already had a change of ends prior to that, so a little bit of a breather. So the question here is whether Putawan put his foot beyond the net to play the point. Min Kantan Yo Kiao keeping the hamstrings stretched. Well, the players haven't been that busy, but the video officials have. Managers called in. Managers might as well just stay behind the screen if I were them. And it's not going to go the way of Myanmar. I didn't think it was going to go the way of Myanmar, but Min Tike, the manager, seems to have come out with some sort of compelling evidence.
The last 2 points may have taken about 5 to 7 minutes.
Each,
yeah, exactly.
Thailand looking at this thinking, we should have been in the changing rooms half an hour ago, preparing for the gold medal ceremony. Thailand had 3 championship points in the second set.
The crowd have to wait. We've got some members of our forces as well in the crowd.
Back we go, and how about that? I said not over, and I thought the score had changed, but no, not over. So Puthawan did not put his foot over the net. The point goes the way of Thailand. So they can now receive. Difficult to see from that angle, but it certainly didn't look like his foot went anywhere near over there. So Thailand now receiving a service and looking to make it 9-all.
9-8.
That initial block was good, but full credit to Rachan Vipan, who responded and created another opportunity for Puthawan to put it away. And we are level again. You cannot take your eyes off this contest. Hopefully, there are no more delays and those challenges are kept at bay. Even if there are challenges, I hope there's a quick resolution.
9-all.
9-all. So now all of a sudden it's a first to 6 best of 11 shootout. Myanmar have still got the slight advantage. They're receiving. All they have to do is win points when they're receiving service.
Used the sole of his foot and got that away. Didn't hit it hard. Just about direction. Min Kant again. He's had a good tournament. Now he's got to just. That was actually a good serve. But Puthawan gets that point for Thailand. It's 10-all. Wasn't a bad service actually to start. It was quite good. Low towards Rachan Vipan's right.
They've stolen it. A couple of points in a row on their own service. A great service it was by Rachan. So deep. And it was incredibly difficult for Myo Kiao to scamper all the way back. There's a challenge at the nets.
Another one. Another one. How long is this one going to take? As we inch closer and closer towards the finale. Things are heating up here at the Patlipurna Indoor Stadium. The ISTAF Sepaktakraw World Cup 2025 staged in Bihar with the support of the Bihar government, the Bihar State Sports Authority and the Khel Vibhag of the Bihar government, with support from the Sports Authority of India, the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports.
No challenge allowed because they've already lost their challenge, Myanmar. They've had an unsuccessful one. And yet, that was successful, winning a point on service. Excellent service out wide to the right foot of Puthawan. Occasionally he does struggle when it goes out wide to his right foot if there's a little bit of spin on it. And swapping of roles. Rachan was the one who was trying to spike at the net, and it's not the more comfortable position for him, as you were. It's a 4-point shootout now. Oh, an ace down the middle.
What a time to deliver that serve. And the Thai players, including Thavisak on the bench, know the importance of that one. You cannot take your eyes off this contest, and I keep saying that again and again. It will be early evening back home in Thailand and evening in Myanmar as well. If you're having your tea, keep your cups aside and watch this game.
3 points in a row, one on service. Can they make it 4? Yes, they can. How about that challenge on the service?
It's a challenge after challenge after challenge.
Surely this can't be allowed because they've already challenged on service. No, what? It looks like it's been overturned immediately by the umpire or by the touch judge.
Now the Myanmar bench raises the challenge surface placard. Yes, there we go, challenge service.
They can't challenge. And for me, Thailand couldn't challenge either because they'd already used their challenge. Both teams had had an unsuccessful challenge. And if the service was going to be called a foot fault, it needed to be called a foot fault by the touch judge immediately, by the line judge as soon as it happened, not after the point.
The referees are still deliberating, having discussions, but Rachan Vipan, he's ready for the next service. Now the referee has indicated the players come back to their positions.
So the point's gone the way of Thailand, and that's huge. That's a huge swing. They're now only 2 points from victory.
Championship point now for Thailand. Once again, 14-11, just as it was in the second set. 3 championship points.
I think they deflated Myanmar. That was an incredible block. Kritsanapong loved it. So 3 championship points, 2 of them on reception of service.
Well, Myanmar still holding on. That was some good footwork around the net. Just kept themselves alive. Remember, in the second set, they bounced back when they were down 14-11. Now it's 14-12.
Game point 14-12.
With Thailand to serve. It's Phutowan. 14-13. This is an edge of the seat thriller.
Two saved. They've got to save a third one on their own service. This is going to be the toughest one.
Thailand are the champions. We say that time and again at ISTAF events. But this victory will be sweet, one to remember, because they have been made to work hard. They were made to sweat. Malaysia challenged them in the semi-finals, and Myanmar threw a similar challenge in the finals. But after all that toil and sweat, this gold medal in the men's doubles will be cherished by Thailand.
Thailand will win. Started. Players, second.
Thailand take this thrilling final 2-1 against a spirited and fighting Myanmar unit. 15-9, 15-17, 15-13. It's a game that has treated us with some great Sepaktakraw action.
Match points, and fittingly it was Pudawan with the spike that confirmed the gold medal for Thailand. Great saving and setting by Rachan. Off he goes to celebrate. He'll soon be having a gold medal to put around his neck.
That's the second one for these two, because they were also a part of the Thai quad unit. But we are now moving to the next event, the mixed quadrants, and the first match is between the neighbors, Nepal and India.